welcome to my third vlog on the Yamaha 82Z Atelier saxophone. This is the last video I intend to make about that saxophone specifically. Sadly, when I've gone back over the edit, I haven't quite done the video. Yeah, I know, the beard. I went to the barber's on Friday before the gig. I said I just needed a trim, and he just kind of went mental on it, and I don't like it, so I'm trying to grow it back. I've got a little bit Beckham. About the closest I'll ever get to David Beckham, but never mind. And on Friday, I had a gig with the Paul Higgs Quintet playing Shades of Miles. Fantastic gig, but I took the Mark VI because it was not my gig, and therefore I couldn't really record it. I couldn't really ask to record it. I was appearing as a sideman. Fantastic gig, went really, really well. Really, really impressed with the band. Great, superb night. Really, really enjoyed it. But I feel a responsibility to Paul and to the audience because they have booked me on the proviso that I sound like the way I'm going to sound, and because it was Miles stuff, they wanted a lot of Coltrane-esque kind of playing, so I felt the 6 would give me that. On Saturday I had a recording gig, same kind of thing. The person had asked for a specific kind of thing, so I took my 6 because I felt more comfortable doing that. But on Sunday it was my gig. It was Jazz Vespers in London, and I felt much more comfortable taking the Yamaha with me. But I'm a man who really struggles to multitask, and of course on that day my responsibility is towards making sure that everything runs smoothly for the Jazz Vespers. I had a new singer involved, I had a different drummer, I had lots and lots of other things, and the camera, the Canon camera didn't kind of capture everything that I wanted to. I only got about 10 seconds, decent seconds, of playing that Yamaha Tenor on the gig. But what I will say, and as you watch through the video, is that of all the modern horns I've played, it felt the most comfortable to play on the gig. It felt the least distance away from my 6. Let's roll the footage from Sunday. So it's Sunday morning. I've got a Jazz Vespers this evening, so I'm heading into London now because I've got a few other things to do. But more importantly, I'm not taking the Selmer Mark VI. I'm taking the Yamaha 82 to do a gig on it rather than my 6.
Which began with moving archive and audio, collecting audio. And we don't know yet.
Tuesday, Dan Grief and I, you can watch us go into the First World War battlefields in this film. We're going to go and watch the premiere of Peter Jackson's film, They Shall Not Grow Old. This is a podcast Dan Snow has done, interviewing Peter Jackson. I'm really looking forward to seeing this film. As I've said before, my interest in the First World War was very, very minimal up until the start of the 100th anniversary, and the more I've researched into it, the more I've got into it. As you see, I've visited many battlefield sites, 3 of them particularly to make films for you guys. It's been, yeah, really, really interesting, so I'm looking forward to what he's going to do with this film, really am. Anyway, better carry on getting to London.
It was a good embodiment of Han, certainly for the West Wing. I agree, and before we got the actual definition of it, I was feeling it.
Place is always very, very busy, so whether I'll find a room where I can warm up in, I do not know. So I mainly want to check and get in focus. I mainly want to check that I've got everything with me, because I've got this slight panic bringing the different saxophone, the Yamaha, that I might have forgotten something. Then I need to find a room. I just want to run through a few things for this Jazz Vespers because we're doing some new stuff tonight, and I want to make sure I'm on top of it. I actually left here an hour ago without you guys, and I've just had to drive halfway back home, well, halfway back to work again, to pick up my camera so I can finish this piece to camera. Still very impressed with that Yamaha YTS-82Z Atelier saxophone. The guys in the band thought it sounded a little bit brighter than what they're used to. I didn't tell them to the end of the gig what it actually was, so it's a big thumbs up from me. Will I make the switch? We'll have to find out.
To interrupt before we got to Charles. Look, it's hardly this princess's fault.
His fingers not working and his drinker's nose. Hang on.
I'm definitely going to talk now. It's hardly this person's fault that they were born into this family any more than I think it's horrible when people criticise politicians for where they went to school.
BBC News on 5 Live at 9 o'clock. I'm Rob Watts. The EU and UK both say key issues remain unresolved after unscheduled talks in Brussels.
So going back to this chart that I did in my first vlog on the Yamaha saxophone here, where does this 82 sit? Remember, along here you've got cheap to expensive, you've got modern and bright sounding saxophones, vintage dark sounding saxophones. I said I hoped it was around this area. Okay, kind of competing with an Andy Shepherd, a 1975 Mark VI. It pretty much, in my mind, it's a little bit higher than that. I'm going to stick it there. I would buy one over an Andy Shepherd saxophone. I would certainly buy it over any of these Far East saxophones that are made. I know the Japan's in the Far East, but you know what I mean, talking like all these Taiwanese horns. I would definitely buy it over that because of what I mentioned in the first vlog about Yamaha's undisputed reliability and the way their products hold their price. That would definitely swing it for me personally. Would I get it over a Selmer Mark VI? I think if you're going to buy a Selmer Mark VI or you own a Selmer Mark VI, you want a Mark VI. I think there's no doubting that. And I don't think any modern made saxophone is going to be able to outplay it in your mind. And that's a really important thing to say. It's what you're after. You are going to want that Selmer Mark VI kind of sound. But there are various different sounds to a Selmer Mark VI. As I've said before, as I said in that video about the 1975 Selmer Mark VI, my 1956 one sounds very, very different. And as people from Selmer have said to me, if they were doing the Mark VI today, there will be several different models because they are very, very different. A very early Mark VI to a very late Mark VI are very, very different constructed, very, very different sounding saxophones. Would I buy one of these Yamahas if I was in the market for one? If I needed one that would sit alongside my 6, I would definitely seriously consider it. In my opinion, at this moment in time, that is the closest modern horn I have played to a Mark VI. The previous one, actually, I would say that was closest was a Sax Magnum Tenor. They were a lot cheaper. They were certainly kind of more down this area, darker tone, and certainly on the cheaper end of the market. It's so subjective, isn't it? For me, on the gig on Sunday, it didn't feel too far away from what I'm used to playing, which was great. I spoke to, as I said in the video at the end of the little clip from Sunday, I spoke to some of the guys in the band. I spoke to Joel, who plays with me all the time. He's my main bass player. He said, yeah, it sounded a little bit different, a little bit brighter. And I was like, ooh, okay. But things like intonation and also things like that are very good. So congratulations to Yamaha. They have made a very, very, very fine tenor saxophone. Don't forget, if you've got any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comments box below. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my last vlog here. This is what I was up to at this time last year. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you very, very soon when I go to this premiere of the new Peter Jackson film.